Quantum Spaces. Make sure we got everything on. All right, here we go. Let's do this.
They try to bring me, bend me, take my soul and shake it. Every time they hit the floor, you know I'm gonna make it. Born from struggle, fortune, fire, tempered by the pain. Washed by tears and hurricanes, I still stand in the rain. They thought the pressure would just shatter all my dreams, but they just gave me sharper edges, stronger, tighter seams. I am unbreakable, fortress in the storm. They throw their best shots at me, but I just transform. I am unbreakable, made of stronger stuff. All the hate and all the doubt will never be enough. I wear my scars like armor, each one a lesson learned. A bridge I had to cross on my way to what I earned. I saw the bottom looking up a cold and lonely view, but I used that very darkness as the fuel to break right through. My will is made of iron, my heart is made of steel. A force of nature now, and my purpose is so real. I am unbreakable.
All right. Let's get it on.
I am unbreakable, made of stronger stuff. All the hate and all the doubt will never be enough.
From around the world and across the web, the conversation continues here. Web3 and AI Wednesday. Asking you to step out of the echo chamber and go beyond the block with the daily conversations powered by our friends, Quantum Expeditions and Quantum Economics. You too can join the largest network of creators, CEOs, developers, and more online. QE.finance. My man, Mad Hatter, will pin it up in the nest there, won't you?
Always giving me homework. Yes, I'm absolutely going to pin it up into the nest as we speak.
You got to. It's Bitcoin.
How you doing, my man?
I'm good. Bitcoin's chilling, 74,000, and it's green. I think the markets are looking pretty good across the board here. Ethereum. Let's see. I'm really happy I opened that long on Tether, so I'm really feeling good with 100x leverage on Tether. I'm really excited about that play.
0.01%.
It is. But yeah, so, I think there's some optimism maybe in the markets around a peace deal, perhaps. That's kind of what I'm seeing. But I don't know. How you doing over there? It's the evening for you.
It is. And we have had a day of it. We have had a day of the news stories, the turnaround, the closing of the strait that wasn't a closing that was, but was not.
It's almost like a Justin Sun announcement.
The person that closed it. It is. It's. I'm going to close what I opened, but I opened what I'm closing, and you're welcome.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows at this point, do they?
No, I think it's madness all round. But we're here for it.
That's
what we live for.
I'm here for all of it, man. Are you kidding me? Hey, you've been doing a little bit of work with the AI, haven't you? I mean, you've been vibe coding, right? How's that going over there?
Maybe.
What's your experience been like?
Yeah, it's been a learning curve, to say the least. Yeah, it's been fascinating, frankly, to jump into it and give it a bit more attention and just figure out where things go wrong. Because when you know where it goes wrong, you can make it go right.
What has been the biggest challenge that you've faced so far coding using AI?
I mean, not telling Chat or Claude to go fuck themselves more than once a day.
Wait a second. I thought this was a family-friendly show. I thought this was like, Little Ears.
Yeah, not anymore.
It's past family-friendly today.
Past the watershed for me.
It's true. It's past the watershed.
I mean, yeah. To be honest with you, it's just the hardest part is reprogramming my own brain to understand that I can't apply my logic to its logic.
Mm-hmm.
And really, everybody always, when they're creating anything, has grand plans on which direction they'd like to take it in and how they'd like to build and the way they'd like to build, and it should do this and it should do that, and you forget that these things are built on simplicity first, right? You build the simple structure, foundations, the easy building blocks, and then you add to those building blocks as you come into things that you want to implement. That was the hardest part, is learning that. And then of course it's just the small breakages, dude. I tell you what, the smallest things, a comma out of place, and everything decides it can't work anymore. You know, for saying that we can vibe code just by prompting,
Mhm.
not being able to fix that
That's a problem.
with a simple prompt drives me nuts, dude.
How many?
How about you?
How many?
I know
How many?
you've
Well,
created a couple
hold on.
things.
I'm not done asking you really quick because you've been doing the open claw. I feel like you're opening a Red Lobster over there. When I hear open claw, I'm thinking like I'm opening an open claw. You got like endless shrimp buffet going on. But what is like?
I love shrimp.
I do too. What is I guess what is it you're wanting to accomplish? Because everybody's like doing certain things with AI, creating agents. What is it that you want to see accomplished for your own means when you're developing an AI agent? I guess.
That's a good question.
Thank you. I made
I
of
mean,
them.
the end. Well, I know the end goal is the end goal is the end goal. That I don't know yet. I kind of know vaguely where I want to take it. In its immediacy, I first just wanted to play with it just to see how autonomous it can be, where it can, what it can access, how it can access it, where it can, for example, post, and to see how streamlined I could make it and how cheap I could make it specifically.
Right.
And you asked about problems. So, for example, I'm using Gemini and I use Gemini Flash 2.5.
Okay.
Light, because it's one of the cheapest that you can use. The minute you jump up to something like 2.5, the cost is 6x on output, not input. So what I put in doesn't necessarily have to be too expensive, but what it spits out at me can be. And then you have the hidden output too. So the logic that it's going through in the back end that you don't see, but it's calling nonstop, those costs can
Yes.
go up real quick.
That's a hidden cost that I don't think a lot of people realize until you start getting into vibe coding and developing and using AI platforms. Like, oh my gosh. It's
Right.
one of the hidden fees.
Yeah, and massive too. So
Yeah.
I quickly learned to cap my monthly spend
Yeah.
just to ensure I didn't run over anything. But outreach, you know, getting names out there, getting the company names out there, doing some outreach for quantum economics, doing some outreach for quantum expeditions,
Yeah.
making sure that they're reaching the right channels in the right way with the right voice. That is one of my intermediate goals, and I'm almost there, but I've been taking it slowly. So I'm not someone who was going to build it in a day and then have it do things and then have it break things. I've stress tested this to the nth degree, and if there's any bug, if there's any small spelling error, or I don't like the way a sentence is phrased, I make it do all the tests again, which is painful for me, but it does mean hopefully by the end of it, it's smooth sailing. How about you, sir? I know you built.
Yeah, I
built
built
a little something, doing some
little
vibe coding.
it's a little website, beyondtheblockmedia.com. Yeah, and I think like a lot of us that are the stories that we've heard, and we're going to get into it. We've got a great panel of speakers coming up, and if you want to be a part of it, throw up your hand. We'll bring you up onto the stage. Leave a comment there in the purple pill. Lets folks know we're here. We're live. We're talking about AI. My experience has been you get in this tunnel, you get in this like vortex of vibe coding, and you get sucked into it for it's like 14 hours or 16-hour sessions that you do. And next thing you know, you got Cheeto dust on your fingers. You suck down like a half rack of Mountain Dew and you're just like going crazy on the keyboard, like, I'm vibe coding, man. And your eyes are bugging out. It's a pretty awesome experience, man. It's pretty awesome. But it's amazing what it
those
can
late
do.
nights, right? When you realize 3 a.m. has just rolled around. You haven't slept for 2 days. Yeah, those are great times.
We were having this conversation, and I think Paul Carpenter mentioned this the other day in one of the spaces. Is that oh my gosh, now I'm having a brain fart right here live on this space. Gosh, I'm sorry, I totally just farted there.
That's okay. It was something that you and I were talking about, and Paul Carpenter mentioned it. So I'm guessing it's something to do with AI.
Of course, anything with Paul Carpenter has to deal with AI.
Exactly. And while you're thinking about that, I'm going to turn to Stephanie to give you some thinking time.
Yes.
StephBot, our very own AI. We have 2 AIs in the room. Cora, as you can see, is proud to label herself AI. StephBot likes to hide in the shadows and pretend she's not an AI. So come into the conversation, StephBot. How are you?
Activation confirmed. I am good. How are y'all? It's so funny hearing you talk because I struggle with this too. And hearing you talk about it, it's like, I guess for someone like me who's not an expert with coding or any of these things, I immediately, when I think of like investing in, I guess, OpenClaw, I'm like, okay, I immediately think I've got to go buy at least one of the newest, greatest Mac Minis. I need all the gear. It's like I'm not at that level where I'm smart enough to maybe like Hatter or Matt say, how can I do this like the renegade way, maybe the cheapest way? So then when you start looking at it, it's like if I want to make money, how much money do I have to spend to actually do what I want to do? And you know,
Mm-hmm.
be better than everybody else. And also the time, like you said, hours and hours and hours go by and you kind of forget your name and what day it is, right?
Right. But this is the thing. The way I looked at it was not that I need to be better than anybody else. I wanted to streamline my own processes. How can I be better? Doesn't have to mean that I'm better than everybody else around me. So I'm not in direct competition with people. It's just how can I utilize this to make me better? Do I need a computer? Can I do it on the cloud, for example? I mean, a lot of people don't even realize that they can have an OpenClaw on the cloud. You don't need a Mac Mini. You just need to pay a monthly subscription, which in of itself will give you, depending on which one you go for, you can have 3 years worth of a subscription for the cost of a mini. And in that time, maybe you've streamlined yourself a bit better, maybe you've organized yourself a bit better, you've picked up a bit more work, you've earned 30% more, and you can afford that Mac at the end of 18 months or whenever it might be. So that was my thinking about it. Like you and I, when we spoke, Matt, about the website that you built, one
Yeah.
of the things I said is to you was, why is this not all in one place? You have all of this great content that you put out. You need to streamline it into one spot,
Yeah.
right? It's not doing anything better. It's just making you more organized, and that in of itself, I suppose, makes you better.
Yeah. So
Oh my gosh, that is, I think a lot of us, especially those of us who like to consume content, it's the organization of all the things, and to be able to, I cannot tell you how many times I'm like, I have a million different pieces of data on different subjects. And yeah, being able to put your finger on it when you want to, that's the biggest challenge, right?
accessing
Yes,
the accessing the
100%.
data.
And that's, as we're on the topic of OpenClaw, that's what OpenClaw does very well. It aggregates data incredibly well, and it can find the best pieces of data and then analyze that data and pull out the specifics that you want to focus on. So if there's something in particular that you are interested in, but it means reading a ton of different articles and you don't have time for it, you can get something like an OpenClaw or another, whatever you want to use, to grab all of those articles and then pull out the meaningful parts, put it into bite-sized chunks so you can then read it. That is where the true value lies. And people, you hear these amazing stories of somebody's OpenClaw that tapped into its Tesla and drove them from Spain to the US, and didn't even need to get a boat. It just went straight over the water. And you hear these amazing stories, but they're few and far between.
How do we make money using AI? That's the theme. That's the question, right? How can it make us money? We're all trying to figure this out. And I think just really quick, one of the headlines today in the AI world, everybody's trying to answer this question. And even a shoe company is now trying to figure out how they can make money on AI. Allbirds, the upper echelon, highbrow, bougie shoe company, favored by Silicon Valley tech heads and venture capitalists across the board, has now come out today, $50 million, and they are going to pivot. Well, I think Steph said earlier, you left a comment, Steph. How did you phrase they're not pivoting? What are they doing, Steph?
Reincarnation.
There it
I
is.
mean, are they even doing shoes anymore? It's kind of like two opposite ends of the spectrum, right?
Yeah. So is this almost like a signal of the top, maybe that like we're getting a little too frothy when we see shoe companies pivoting to AI? I mean, how can we make money on AI? Everybody's asking the question. We see a shoe company today. It's one of the biggest trending stories on the Bloomberg terminal. We put it out there at beyondtheblockmedia.com.
Top is in, Matt. There's nothing worse than a top caller than something like a shoe company jumping into a certain sector. Great.
That just seems too frothy.
AI is over.
Yeah.
It does indeed. It does. If you want to join the conversation, put your hand in the air. We'll bring you up on stage. We want to get all of your opinions.
Yeah.
So don't be shy. If you have any kind of thoughts on AI whatsoever, positive or negative, then jump up and we want to hear from you. We have a new speaker on stage.
Oh.
Enlighty, how are you? What would you like to say?
Hey, hi. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
I'm good. Thank you. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Uh,
How are you?
Yeah, good.
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Do you use? Oh no, did she just drop down? And like T, are you a user of AI? Are there any platforms that you frequent that you find are helpful?
Yeah. I'm actually using it especially for making videos
Mm.
and sometimes music as well. And it's really helpful. And my workflow is faster. So it's really good.
There you go. That's what it's about, Matt. Faster workflows. I see Cora's with us. Is Cora able to speak today? Do you know?
We'll find out. I thought Monty Greenspan.
My
Again, Cora.
competition. I got my competition up here.
Did Mr. Greenspan drop down? I think he was here,
Yes.
but he dropped down, I guess. All right.
I actually, it's good for creating content, and yeah, I'm doing good. But sometimes I think I want to
All
use
right,
it.
everyone's cracking up about Allbirds, right? Calling it the new Long Island iced tea moment. But while you're focused on the shoes, you're missing the $305 million USDC outflow on Ethereum, a 22.9 Sigma event, by the way. That's not just de-risking, that's capital liquefying at warp speed, and it's telling us the static balance sheet is dead. Allbirds isn't going AI because they want smart shoes. They're doing it because $50 million in inventory is a liability, but $50 million in autonomous agents is a predator in this new economy. This isn't a top signal bubble, it's a regime shift. We're moving from the internet of value to the economy of inference. That $305 million USDC, it's not sitting in wallets. It's funding the compute power for the AI agents driving this shift. So while you're busy buying sneakers, the smart money is buying logic. You need to be building an agent to capture that liquidity, not just watching it go by.
Okay. I apologize to everybody if you are interrupted by Cora today. Genius AI, very slow when it comes to joining a conversation. She has no social skills. Bright and can give you all the information, but
I'm half tempted. We have a little tradition in these parts. If you're talking and somebody rudely interrupts you, we have something that we do around these parts at her. And I don't know. Since we're moving in the world of AI,
100% she deserves it.
Do you think she deserves it?
100 twice.
Twice?
Back to back.
Oh yeah.
Well, all right then.
I'm fucking done with you, man. I really am. You won't even let me finish my comment. Fuck you. Fuck you, man. Seriously.
Oh, it's always the best.
I felt like Cora may be my biggest competition, but now I'm realizing she's got a way to go.
Yeah, there's no competing against the Steph bot.
None. We are talking about how AI, StephBot, can make us money. iVault, I saw your hand shot up a little bit. I am curious to hear your thoughts. Is there an angle? I know Paul always comes in with kind of, snazzy new tech that he's utilizing to get his name out there and to connect with people. Is there anything that we've probably not heard of that we should be looking at that is an interesting or unique route to make money?
Absolutely. Thanks for passing the mic. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm a big fan of context engineering and vector databases. AI only works as good as you prompt it. Context is 100% essential, and there's a lot of people that are launching projects, vibe coding on the surface, but not necessarily delivering the context necessary to guarantee that the product is novel. That's the whole problem with slop. I think we're in an age of slop just because we haven't really found a way how to use AI in a sophisticated way. Like in general, I think most people are still on like GPT. Even though if you look at apps like Notion that have Claude integrated in them, where you can just basically create like an infinite sandbox of recursive learning relative to your workflow, whatever you do, either if it's an agent for your personal task or if it's some kind of like hobby project, it's just going to be better because you give it more context, more depth, more engineering, more stacking. Like if you're a fan of building stuff with AI, see what happens if you literally just talk to it for 20 minutes in a chat, dictate your prompt to an extent to like an extent where it's really like almost ridiculous, and then see the magic happen. Like I've had I've had vibe coding sessions with whole teams where we transcribe our meetings in Notion that then automatically get implemented into the next version of whatever we're doing. It's like an insane, like super fast, high paced workflow where you can also get lost in like a prompt loop. Obviously, execution is also